Hello everyone. Is anyone there? Yeah, could you confirm whether you can hear me properly? Hi Sylvia, hi. How are you doing today? Just after work, yeah? Or maybe not, maybe you finished, way earlier. Could you tell me? Yeah? Hi Alicia, hi. Yeah, how are you all doing? I hope that you are still full of energy and for this webinar because it's kind of late, yeah, isn't it? It's around 7, let's say. So for some of you, maybe it was really difficult or troublesome to get here on time, but I hope that you still, let's say, you've got the urge to study more for today. You can hear me properly, yeah? There are no issues like technical issues and I can move on. Am I right? Like if anyone could tell me whether you can hear me properly and whether you can, okay, everything is, so I'm audible, perfect. So I think that we can move on. So my name is Tom and I am an English teacher, of course. I'm also a photographer. Some of my photos are visible behind me. It's not something special, but I hope that in the future these photos will be better. What else? Apart from English, of course, I study Japanese, German, and yeah, I'm planning like a huge journey to Japan to teach their English, like in the future. But it doesn't mean that I will stop doing webinars or maybe preparing some videos for students or whatever. But probably more on YouTube. Yeah, it's like something that I'm planning. I'm studying how to prepare videos. I like how to make videos for YouTube, and it's really tough for me. So it's something about me. So I'm English teacher with several years of experience and it's like my dream job. I really enjoy doing that. And my second job is like being a photographer and something that I also want to pursue. Okay, so that's all about me. And I think that it's important what we're gonna talk about today. So the topic is media. Yeah, so we're gonna cover a lot of vocabulary today that concern media. Yeah, so you will learn how to call the people who work in media, and as well as some adjectives which will really help you to describe what is currently happening with media and many more. Yeah. At the end, I will also give you, let's say, the access to flashcards on Quizlet, and additionally, you will have some interesting article about the media abroad. Yeah. So I think it will be really enriching. I hope so. And what else is important? This webinar will take 25 minutes from now, around, I suppose. And as well, there will be 2 more questions at the end. And one more thing, if you've got any questions, yeah, you can ask me anytime about, or just give me some feedback in a comment during Q&A session, or maybe I don't know, maybe some suggestions or tips, or maybe not tips, but suggestions. What can I change in my webinars? I'm really open for suggestions and changes and anything. Yeah, so you can always talk with me. Yeah, I know that it's only chat. We don't see each other like face to face, not a face to face conversation, but still you can interact with me, and I think it's awesome. Yeah. Okay, I think that we can move on finally. So I will show you the first slide. We're gonna talk about media, as I told you, yeah, a second ago. So the media. So firstly, I would like to know how often, how regularly you follow the news. I mean, whether you check it every day or maybe every, I don't know, third day, or maybe you don't read news at all because you don't feel like it's something optimistic. It's rather like pessimistic only, and you just skip this part of your life. And yeah, if you could tell me what's your let's say opinion about that. Yeah, whether you, let's say, stay up to date with everything that's happening and every day you check the news, or rather avoid that. Because, for example, if we talk about me, I can tell you that I check news regularly, and additionally, my students always prepare some materials, like some news or whatever that is happening in the world, and that's why I am up to date rather with everything. Because not only about news like business English, but also some other facts that are interesting, like that Machu Picchu is like there gonna be a new airport soon, yeah, or something like that, yeah. Okay, I see that social media, TV and social media every day, and the radio during driving, during the driving. Okay, I mean, it's still up to you and how much time you've got, yeah, during the day. Sometimes just even audition, on the radio is amazing help, yeah. And sometimes we just only scroll through our social media because we already liked, let's say, a level like in some of, let's say, on some fan pages that you found them interesting, yeah, like some information that they pass on or whatever, yeah. Yeah, and I see that Evelina, she seldom uses the media for broad viewpoint. Okay, for broader viewpoint, yeah, because it's important to, in my opinion, to listen or to read something to have a broaden horizons, yeah, so that you know more about that what's happening in the world. And I see that Ivona also reads news every day, and Kasia listens to radio sometimes. Okay, so I see that you want to, let's say, be up to date with everything what is happening currently, yeah. So I see that there is a huge domination as well of social media, yeah. It's like trend now, and probably it will not change very soon. And I think that radio or maybe TV is not so popular anymore. But I don't know whether you share my opinion. But I see that we got different channels that we use to gain some information about what is happening, yeah. So maybe not, maybe it's still popular, I mean, TV and radio. Okay, but let's move on, yeah? So right now you've got a picture, yeah? I would like you to describe me people or maybe a person who may work in this kind of environment, yeah? And what is the quality of news, let's say, in this kind of work, yeah? So what kind of news they, let's say, they prepare or transmit, whether it's good quality news or rather not. What's your opinion? So who works there? And the second one, whether the quality of news is good or not, yeah? Okay, so the first one we've got editor. Okay, sometimes maybe editor would be not the best. Might be. Journalists are working. Journalists work in TV or newspaper, maybe in TV or newspaper industry, yeah, or something like that, or reporters. Maybe it's some kind of reporter. I'm not so sure. I think that it'll be about rather news readers and maybe one reporter or maybe one editor, as Ivana said. Yeah, probably the second one, because the second one is, let's say, maybe some specialists of a specific topic, and the other one is like a news reader or maybe a journalist, yeah, or editor. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's still possible. Okay, and what about the second one? So who works there, and what's the quality of news like? Yeah. As you can see here, we've got newspaper. So here, I think that Ivona's suggestion would be better. So the person who works for a newspaper is rather editor or journalist very often. So editor is like a person who is responsible for that what is happening there, yeah, very often. And journalists, yeah. But what's the quality of news in your opinion? So what's the quality? Do you think that the quality of news in newspapers is still very good, or it, let's say, has decreased in significance and in quality? What's your opinion about that? Because in my opinion, I still think that news in newspapers should be reliable, yeah, because if it's not, then people stop just reading, yeah, and that's the case. And I think not always, there are sometimes fake news, yeah, sometimes, but they still need to be confirmed, yeah, that there should be some proof, yeah, yeah, whether it's okay to publish it or not, yeah. I don't know whether you've got similar feelings, but I think it's really important that the news in newspapers are, let's say, reliable. Don't you think so? Okay, as I'm still waiting for your suggestions, maybe I will tell you more about the next one. So here we also got social media. Social media, let's say, are popular nowadays, and I think that people use it widely just to, let's say, acquire some information, yeah? So I don't know whether you are a huge fan of social media, but I already noticed that some of you use social media on daily basis, like to check what is happening there, but it's very difficult to, let's say, sort the best from the, just to choose what is the trustworthy news and what is not there, yeah, because we've got a lot of sources and sometimes they are not, let's say, checked by some mechanism, and you might, let's say, see some scams or fake news, yeah. In my opinion, in these times, it's hard to look reliably, yeah. Okay, to find some reliable information in media, yeah, exactly. I think the same. It's really difficult to find some reliable information, yeah, or to look up, yeah, maybe to look up some reliable information in media. I think similarly, yeah. And in these times or these days or something like that, instead of in these tense. So in these days, yeah, rather, or nowadays, or at times, or whatever, yeah, this kind of expressions rather. Okay, so we've got some opinion, and I think that we can move on to the words. So you've got some pictures, and you should tell me in let's say what medias, yeah, in what media these people were. We've got columnist, we've got announcer, we've got newsreader, editor, and host. You could tell me where a columnist works, yeah, where a columnist work. If you could tell me exactly. I see that there are some opinion. I have already reading information like on portals like Allnet, VP, yeah, the WP. I know these pages, I mean, these websites, yeah, and I think that you must really check the information which is published there, yeah, and some reality talks, live chat, yeah. I think that these forums are popular these days, yeah, and that's why it's worth really listening them, yeah. Okay, and what about this work, yeah? These professions that we've got here, where columnist, announcer, newsreader, editor, and host work. You could tell, you could match them with media that we've got, yeah? I put there some pictures so that it's easier to match, yeah, the media with a person. Columnist is a person. I don't know whether you know any association with columnist, like what kind of work it is. You could tell me like anything, whether you've got any idea what a columnist may do. Okay, as Sylvia said, it's rather columnists. When we talk about columnists, so these are people who work for newspapers, yeah? So they prepare some articles or maybe some short texts or whatever, but rather for newspapers, yeah? Exactly. And what about the announcer or news reader? And what's the difference, yeah? What's the difference between these two? Yeah, columnist prepares a text, yeah, some kind of text, yeah, that will be used in a newspaper. Okay, TV newsreader, editor, and host, yeah, exactly. I mean, on TV you can find many hosts. I think editor is rather for newspapers, not only, but the first association is with rather newspapers. But TV as well. TV as well is like a person who manages the program of it, like what should be written in a newspaper or on should be, let's say, transmitted on TV. Yeah. Announcer is some kind of speaker, is some kind of news reader, but announcer can be a weather announcer or some other things. Yeah, you can be weather announcer or whatever. The content can be different, but it's not only about news. You can be announcer of many things. So a speaker, yeah, as Sylvia said, exactly. Yeah, perfect explanation, Sylvia. Sorry for the lags, but I know that this platform is not a perfect one, and that's why I see it a bit later what you write. Yeah. Okay. And right now, let's move on to the vocabulary that is really important when we use when we want to talk about news. And it's really important, as I said previously, that news is trustworthy. If something is trustworthy, you can trust it because you know that the content will not, let's say, tell you any lies. Yeah, that there's gonna be only truth. Yeah, that is somehow confirmed. I mean, the whole information that is there. That's why it's important that information is trustworthy. But also, people can be trustworthy. Yeah, so you can trust them. Yeah. Okay. The next one. The next one we've got sensational. It comes from sensation, and it's something that is really interesting, that makes us feel that it's interesting, that we cannot just stop reading it, yeah, because oh my god, what happened? It's like it's sensation. I thought that they're not gonna break up or something, yeah. So sensational is very common word and very similar in our language. Okay, we've got also informative. If something is informative, so it's like it gives us some information about something. Yeah, that's why it's informative. Yeah, so we can have informative book or informative articles and many more. It's about the content. And as Ivana said, I see that she added that announcer is rather a speaker about some sports, and that's also correct. Yeah, it can be about sports or some other thing. It's not only news. Yeah, just coming back to the things that we covered before. Okay, and right now we've got also reliable. If something is reliable, you can. It's also trustworthy. It's like you know that you can trust the source. You can trust this person or information. It's more or less the same. These adjectives comes from rely on. Rely on. So if you can rely on somebody, you think that you might trust this person, that this person will not cheat on you. Yeah, exactly. So reliable information is information that you can trust. Yeah. Okay. And the last one is trashy. If something is trashy, it can be like rubbishy. So it's like the content is not worth your attention because it's probably scam, it's some fake news, it's like not worth your attention because probably it's not, there is no maybe proof or it's not reliable. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so we've got this vocabulary, and right now please tell me what kind of media we've got in our country. If you could use these adjectives that we covered to talk about media in our country, which adjectives would you use to describe the media in here? Rather trashy. Okay. A lot of scam, maybe fake news, sometimes not confirmed information that is published, or maybe faked or whatever. People very often, let's say, misuse or maybe mistreat some people using just this kind of content. Yeah, that they publish a lot of stuff like new news about some people or new content about people when it's not really proved. Yeah, and because of that, people may felt offended, or maybe the trust of the society might be changed. Yeah. Trashy or informative? Okay, I see that there are two sides. Yeah, two sides of it. Yeah, I think similarly. Okay, great. Right now, this is like your homework, just to think about the media, whether you think that media is trustworthy or not. Yeah, and why not? So think about it. Try to note down after this webinar a few sentences what you think about the media in your country, like whether it's trashy, whether it's maybe you cannot really believe in that fact that are published there. What's your general opinion? Just try to write a few sentences about it. It really helps with your vocabulary and knowledge of English. Okay, and right now I will paste two links to Quizlet and one article about censored countries. So I think these two would be really useful for your studying. And right now I would like you to tell me whether you've got any questions, and I would be very happy to give you the answers if you've got any. Maybe you would like me to change the form of webinars so it's like more about vocabulary and less talking. Maybe I should change something. Or maybe it was that what you expected and you enjoyed the webinar. You could tell me, like, in short, what you think about it. Thank you as well. Yeah, I really enjoy the fact that a lot of people appear here and let's say take active part here. Yeah, because it's really important. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Okay, so as I'm still expecting more questions, maybe I will run two poll questions. The first poll question is there. Okay, and right now I will show you the second question. Okay, so you, Sylvia, said that you would like to know more vocabulary because, these webinars are not fully like my free will. What I mean, the content of these webinars and the vocabulary I cover is rather part of the course. So if you want me, I will maybe extend the vocabulary that's beyond the course so that you learn even more. But please remember that as it's part of a course or something, I let's say include the vocabulary that should be included, and sometimes I add more. Yeah, sometimes I add more so that it's let's say more that you can expect from the Tutlos course. Yeah, so I will work on that so that you've got more vocabulary for the next time. Read please the news, not the news, but the article that I included or just sent to you, because I think that you will find there even more vocabulary. Yeah, just try to note it down. Yeah, because it might be really helpful. And what else? I will give you some tip. When you read some news, note down the words, note down the words that are difficult to you, and then try to tell a story. Try to tell a story using the vocabulary that was difficult. I mean the vocabulary in the article and in the order that the vocabulary appeared in the article. It really helped. It really helps, and my student progressed amazingly doing that. Yeah, so I really recommend to do this kind of thing. Okay, and for today, I thank you so much. Don't forget to check social media of Tutlo, and I hope to see you again on my webinars next time. I've got one webinar on Monday. Next Monday. So I would really appreciate your attendance. Yeah, so thank you so much for today and see you soon.